Hi everybody, this is Stanley. Thank you for joining me for this short little yoga class, about 15 minutes, and we're going to be doing others. So what I'm going to do is this one I'll start on the ground. So you can come into a position on your shins if that works for you, or have your legs cross-legged or one leg out if you have issues. So sitting up on a pillow will help us fold forward a little bit better and have a little more mobility. So let's just turn our attention inward and just notice what you're feeling on the inside as you breathe, as you follow the breath. So just going with the breath moment to moment, allowing the belly to be soft. Taking a few of those letting go breaths. Noticing where you might feel any particular tension, like in the jaw area or shoulders, sometimes in the back. So just settle and allow everything to be just as it is in each moment. I know these are kind of stressful times, and I think doing a little yoga, setting aside time for ourselves is really important in these times. And we get bombarded with all the negativity of the news and, a lot of good things too of what's being done. But, as much as possible, just focus on your own inner sense of stillness and peace. So just set some kind of intention just to be present here in this moment. Take one more letting go breath, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. Maybe taking another letting go breath. And then inhale, let's sweep our arms open out to the sides and reach those fingertips. And we're just going to reach over to the right and over to the left and back to center. And then inhale, sweeping the arms up overhead, interlacing the hands. If you can, you might need a belt or a sock, or you can just keep them apart. But you want to make sure those shoulder blades are down. Draw your shoulder blades down and widen your shoulder blades. So you always want to create as much space as possible, whether you're just like this or this. And then we're just going to bring the arms like you're treading water, reaching as far as you can out to the horizontal. Or reach, slide, glide the upper body out to the right. And then right hand on the floor, left arm comes up to the vertical, nice and straight to get that stretch from the left hip all the way up through those left fingertips. And you can slide out, side bend over to the right as much as you feel like it. And then if you want, you can kind of C-curve your body, lift up on that right rib cage to get as much stretch on the left side as possible. And if you look at the top line of my body, you see that it's, relatively straight, but in somewhat of a C-curve now. And then brace the core, bring this left arm up, imagine somebody's helping to pull you up, use that core to come up to the vertical, and exhale, settle. We're going to do a lot of pausing and settling. Okay, so inhale, reaching arms up again. Interlace the hands if you like, or just stretch up. Maybe make sure you draw those shoulders down away from the ears. And then reaching out again, gliding the upper body out to the left, placing the hand down, and right arm comes up. And you can even rotate your body upward to the right a little bit towards that right arm in the vertical. And then you can do that little side bend to get a little more stretch through the right ribs. So breathe into your shape here. Breathe into what you're feeling. So you can let the head go down or just in a relaxed position. And now we're going to come back up again. Brace that core. Take this right arm up. Maybe imagine somebody's pulling you by the hand and coming back up again. And exhale. Take another little breath. Letting go. Finding those pauses. Let's get into the habit when we're just going through our daily life, whatever that may be for you, of just taking those pauses. A lot of sighing is good, especially in these times. So now we're going to fold forward. So lift up through the torso, engage the core, press the navel back, and we're just going to come forward. Now you can adjust the feet. I usually have one foot in front of the other. Just with a straight spine hinging from the hips. And you can stretch the arms out, but let's not go here. So shoulders back, reaching with the heart, allowing the heart to extend outward towards the fingertips. Even if you're more upright, that's better than being all hunched over. So if your hinge can take you a little bit more towards the horizontal, fine. Otherwise, wherever you are is just fine. Nice big breaths in each pose and posture. Working at the breath is so vital in helping us to, energize through these poses. Notice where you feel the sensations in this stretch, in this posture. Just be with it, enjoy it. If it's painful or anything like that, then back out of it. You want it to feel kind of delicious, yummy. Feel that stretch of those muscles. If you're feeling discomfort in the ligaments or tendons, then you want to back off, because especially the knees are very vulnerable. All right, coming back up. And let's extend the right leg out to the side. Not too much. It can just be a little out to the side. So from here, we're just going to turn our bodies towards that extended leg. And let's reach up again. Reach up to lengthen through the torso coming out of the rib or out of the pelvic area. And then coming forward. Now don't try to reach those shoulders forward. Have the shoulders back and reach with the chest, with the sternum, with the heart. And just keeping his spine as straight as possible. So breathe here. Just be present in this posture for right now. Totally absorbed in the sensations and what you're feeling in your body and the breath. And you can just kind of let go, even if you round a little bit. But lead with the chest. So coming up with a straight spine. We're going to turn towards the bent knee, and then we're going to tip over, placing that right elbow into the inner thigh. And you can do any modification of this. You can put your arms down farther. You can take this left arm up. I like to take the left arm up and rotate your body over to the left, your torso. And breathe here. Use that elbow into the inner thigh to help leverage you up to the left. And then if you want to C-curve a little bit, bringing that left arm down, but try not to bring it down in front of the shoulder. Keep it back. Using your navel, using your core here. And then we're going to take that left arm up. We're going to use that arm to help pull us up. Imagine somebody's pulling you. Brace the core at the same time. Exhale. And just let your body process that. So right now here in this position, perfect opportunity to just come up onto that left arm and lift the pelvis up, and a nice stretch through that whole right side. And to kind of play with it, move around a little bit, see what it feels like. And then you're going to just sit back down again. And then we're going to change legs. So bring the right heel in and left one out. All right, sitting up straight, turn your torso, squaring the shoulders over the left leg, hinging from the hips and coming forward. So try not to, in the beginning, use your arms, because that tends to get us all rounded. But if you just lead with the center of your chest, your sternum right here, and you can keep the spine as straight as possible. And just find that first edge where you feel that resistance. And then just breathe into that that space, that place where the body is resisting a little bit, having trouble. So don't try to force it any time. You just ask, you request the body, can you go a little farther? Sometimes it says yes, sometimes no. It'll let you know. That's why we have sensations. If you want to stretch out the arms, you can. If you want to let the head come down. But just think straight spine, almost like a plank, a board. Sometimes those visuals really help the body to come into that perfect spot. And coming back up, bracing the core. Exhale. Take a pause. Notice what you feel there. And on the next step, we're going to turn the body, the torso, squaring the shoulders over that bent knee. But then we're going to tip over to the left, placing that left elbow to the inner thigh. And that's going to help us wind up or spiral the torso up to the right. And then we can bring the right arm up, extending that arm straight up, keeping the elbow from bending, so straight up, and then tipping over towards that extended leg. Try not to bring the arm all the way out, but because most of us, we don't want to rotate downward. We want to rotate upward, which is a little tricky in this position. So just play with it a little bit. Maybe a little C curve. And coming back up again, bracing the core. And we're going to place the right hand down, and we're just going to push up onto that right knee, stretching the whole left side of the body. Just play with it here a little bit, noticing what you feel, moving around a little bit. But always, so that right glute, you want to engage that right glute underneath you for that support, and then sit back down again. And just notice what you feel. Let your body process that. And then we're going to just take our soles of our feet together. Sit up on your pillow. Bring those heels in as far as feels comfortable. We want to open up the inner thighs. So stretching up tall, shoulders back, hinging from the hips, and coming forward again. You can place the hands here. You can place the elbows to the inner thighs, kind of on this inside. Just inviting them, encouraging those knees to open up a little bit more. And then just fold forward. Take those letting go breaths anytime you feel it. It's really helped. They've done studies that show how sighing really helps release tension from the body. All right, coming back up. We're going to extend the legs out, and you can take your pillow if you have one out from under you. We're going to place the hands behind us and plant the hands down. You can have the fingertips forward or towards the back, but roll those shoulders back. We're just going to do a reverse plank. So lifting the pelvis up, reaching the balls of the feet out towards the floor, and just let the head float up. Squeeze those glutes and lift that pubic bone up. So you don't want to be sagging like this or all caved in. You want to open up that chest. Breathe into it. Squeeze those glutes. Couple of breaths here. And then lowering down again. And let's just do one more seated forward fold with both legs stretched out. Again, navel draws back, which helps the back to lengthen. And just coming forward. Now, you can bend your knees if you need to, but try flexing your feet. Couple of breaths here. And from here, we're going to, I'm going to just turn my mat sideways. So you can see me. We're going to do a little lie down on our backs, and we're going to do a little somatic move of that back release. So we're just going to do one neuromuscular release movement per session. So feel your back flat on the floor, shoulders relaxed and open, arms alongside your body are out a little bit. So from here, we're just going to press our tailbones down into the floor, creating a little bit of a, you want to feel a little tunnel. I might be out of the picture. I'm going to move down a little bit to make sure I'm in the screen. I can't tell because the picture of it kind of did its darkening thing. So you want your heels just underneath the knees, somewhere there. And again, we're going to inhale, arch the back, feeling that little tunnel. And then very slowly, you're going to flatten your back. You can't go too slowly here until that lower back is relatively flat. There's always that slight curve. So let's do that again. Inhale, fill up the belly with air, press your tailbone down, and even open up the chest and press your shoulders out and into the floor. Inhale, exhale, slowly begin to unarch the back. So basically releasing the back muscles as you lower down, but it has to be slow. And one more time, inhale, arch. Exhale, slowly flatten. You're in charge now. You have to be in control of your own body. It'll want to jump down a lot faster, but you're saying, no, I'm in charge. Okay, hands behind the head. We're going to do a couple with the little curl at the end. So inhale, arch, pressing the tailbone down again. Exhale, flatten. And take another little inhale, and on the out breath, just bringing your elbows and head up, rounding the back a little bit, letting those back muscles stretch a little, and lowering down. Let's do one more. Inhale, arch, open up the chest, arch the whole back, not just the lower back. Let that upper back rise or raise up a little bit. Exhale, increment by increment, just slowly allow the back to just flatten slowly. If there's a big jump, that means you're not in charge, so you have to do it again. And let's just do one more time. Inhale, arch, exhale, flatten, and going into the curl. I don't think I did the curl the last time. Okay, so you want to stretch out those back muscles after you've contracted them when you arch. Okay, lowering down. Now let's place the arms alongside the body. We might as well do a little conserve time since these are short classes. We're going to go into a little bridge. So planting the feet down, hip width apart, and then as you press your feet down into the floor, so you're going to tuck your tailbone under, little coccyx curl, and come off the ground with that pelvis. And make sure your head and neck are nice and relaxed, and you don't want to have it all contracted, so the back of the neck long. So here we are in the bridge pose. Let's maybe go up a little higher to squeeze those glutes. A couple more breaths here, squeezing those glutes. You can feel it in those hamstrings a little bit. And you can feel that nice stretch of the quads. So make sure you're not supposed to turn your head from side to side when you're in a bridge, especially in a real extreme one. All right, now feel where the vertebrae are on the back, and one vertebra at a time, just placing it down onto the mat, one after the other. Tuck, coccyx curl here to get through that lower spine. And just settle for a moment. Notice how your body feels, what it's communicating with you. Okay, from here, we're going to bring the knees into the chest, the forehead towards the knees, and really stretch out that back into a little ball. And we're actually going to roll like a ball to come up. But let's place the hands kind of at the back of the thighs, close to the knees. So you want to get your scoop in your abdominals because that'll start the shape of the spine in a rocking chair kind of shape. So that's what we want. So you don't want to flip the lower legs around. You want the knees over the hips, using your core, coming up. And let's just roll down again. But keep the scoop. You don't want a big flat spot. So tuck the chin, maybe give a little thrust. Do it a couple of times without flipping the legs, without doing this with the shoulders. Shoulders down, elbows out, and then coming up to a seated position the next time. Up. And from here, we're just going to come onto the hands and the knees. And I think this will fit in the camera. So from here, we're just going to do a few movements on our hands and knees. So anyway, hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, hip width apart. And from here, we're going to do a little cat roll. So we'll start with an arching the back. That means the middle of the back sags down. And then from here, you're going to draw the navel up, tucking the tailbone under and rounding the back. And let's sit back on the heels again. So we're going to round the body up. So you're not going to let the elbows rest. You're going to have the arms straight, reaching those palms out, drawing that shoulders back to get as much stretch through the back as possible. So inhale, rounding up. When you're vertical, shoulders over the wrists, you go into the arch. You just let the middle of the body kind of surrender and sag down and lift the sit bones up and the chest up. Now, try not to be here, so push the floor away. Roll those elbows in and exhale, sit back down again. Let's do that one more time. Wave-like movement of the spine. Rounding up on the in-breath. Go into the arch and exhale, sitting back down. If you need to take an extra breath for that exhale part, you can. Inhale, rounding up. Then your vertical, go into the arch. A little bit at a time, just sequencing through the spine. One more time until we're in that upright position. Go into the arch. And then just neutral spine. So just nice straight back. So from here we'll do a little pointer. So we're going to extend the left arm and the right foot, right leg. So let's do a little, maybe I'm not in the camera. You can, if I'm not all in the camera, then just guess. You get the gist of it, I think. So inhale, extend from the center of your body out through that diagonal. Exhale, place hand and foot down or knee down. And the other side, reaching. And exhale down again. So now we're going to speed it up, going at your own pace. If you're all wobbly, then just do it as slowly as you need to. Other side. Extend and reach. Exhale, back down. Extend and reach through the entire spine from the center outward and back down. One more time on each side. Reach, exhale down, and reach, and down. And from here, let's go into a little plank pose. So lifting up onto the balls of the feet, onto the hands. Shoulders should be right over the hands, so you don't want them out too far. So make sure that your pelvis is right in between. And just reach through the crown of the head, squeeze those glutes, draw the navel up. And then from here, we're going to lift the hips up and into a downward facing dog. So let's bend the knees and like a crouch pose. So you're going to push the body way back. Open up those shoulders and then lift those hips up, straightening the legs. And from here, we're going to rock forward into plank again. This time we're going to bring the left knee to the right elbow and then extending back up again into a three-legged dog. This time we're going to bring that left leg out to the left, to the outside of the left elbow, and back up in an extended downward facing dog, three-legged dog. And then coming back to plank, placing both knees down, actually in tabletop. So from here, child's pose, and then up again. Curling the toes under. You're going to do a little crouch, pushing back. And then we're going to come forward into a plank. Just hold it in plank. You have to adjust the feet a little bit so you're in the right form. Drawing the navel up. Shoulders over the wrists. Hope you can see me. And then we're going to bend the knees a little and push the hands forward, rocking the body back. And then from here, we're just going to come into that downward facing dog. Let's extend the right leg behind you in a three-legged dog. And we're going to rock forward. As we rock forward into plank, bring that right knee to the opposite elbow. Bracing that core. Going back into three-legged dog, extending that leg. This time bring that right knee to the outside of the right elbow, bracing that core. Back again, three-legged dog. And then we're going to rock forward and place both knees down and exhale, sitting back down again into child's pose. Hope you can hear me. I'm going to stop here. So just let yourself rest in child pose. I might start again. I just want to check and see if I was in the camera or if you could see my body. So just be here and rest. And we'll start all over again with the second part of it.